we need more public awareness of the fact that the Prime Minister of Israel, the one who's most responsible for all the decisions militarily made in Gaza lately, all of the atrocities and the hasty destruction of all sorts of things. This man, Benjamin Netanyahu, early on in the conflict, after October 7th, he come out saying, you cannot be against Zionism and not be anti-Semitic. He said, if you're against Zionism, you're anti-Semitic. That's just a blatant breaking of logic. That's just really fucking stupid. Especially if you ask some of the Jews, some of the rabbis who are totally against Zionism. Now, that's almost, tolerable. But what's not tolerable is when he says shit like that, and then he also says the Australian Bondi shooting massacre is pretty much a result of Australia opting for a Palestinian state or recognising a Palestinian state in the United Nations. That's fucking really rude. It's extremely dumb, and we can't be expected to believe that he literally thinks that that's sound logic. He cannot know. Yes, it is possible that someone noticed that the head of their government recognized a Palestinian state and then went a bit crazy thinking, Israel's wrong, I'm going to go and kill some Jews. That's possible. But what is more likely is that someone's going to think, the head of my government recognized a Palestinian state. Okay, I'm not going to go and kill Jews in Australia. That's more likely. It's just absolutely nuts what he's done, what he's said. Just try to think of the logic. Someone wanting to kill Jewish people in Australia because of what Israel has done in Gaza, simply because they're so angry about what's happening in Gaza and they're so impotent to stop it. The only way that they can get at whoever's making these decisions in Gaza is by putting pressure on them from the Australian Jewish community. That makes the most sense. That what is happening in Gaza is going to increase the chances of some kind of Bondi massacre like we've seen against Jews, targeting Jewish peoples. For Benjamin Netanyahu to say the complete opposite is the case, and not only that he thinks that, but he says that that's actually how it is, that because Australia recognised a Palestinian state, we had a massacre. The only way that kind of makes sense is if Netanyahu was admitting that he actually organised the massacre. It was some Mossad job because he was angry at Australia for recognising a Palestinian state. And then we've got apparently the most appreciated politician on the scene at that Bondi massacre who visited there, and Pauline Hanson, and she's saying we've got to ban Palestinian flags from being at protests. That's insane. That's going to increase the chances of a terrorist attack on Australian soils. I mean, that seems pretty obviously the most likely effect of banning a Palestinian flag. I'm not saying it's good that there's Palestinian protests. I'm not saying any protest is good. But I think if you're gonna start nailing down on these protests, don't start by saying there's no Palestinian flag that's allowed to be flown around here. That's insane. It's going to increase the chances of terrorist attacks. It's going to make people extremely angry, and it just doesn't make sense. Okay, there's a group of people over in the Middle East. They call themselves Palestinians. They've been in a really hard struggle for like nearly 100 years. And you want to ban their flag. Just ban certain kinds of protests, ones that disrupt society and aren't of a certain category. Don't go saying there's no Palestinian flag that's allowed. And then people talking to Pauline Hanson saying we should ban the burqa. That is just insane too. It's logical. There's a rationale for banning face coverings, yes. But if you go and say we're going to ban the burqa and that's all, and you can still wear a Spider-Man suit around town, that's insane. That's actually controlling women. That's saying, and Pauline Hanson's friend beside her saying, yeah, we've got to ban the burqa because it's people who want burqa, they just want to control women. Well, what about women who want to wear a fucking burqa? If you tell them they're not allowed to wear a burqa, you're controlling them. And if you say it's just the burqa, you can wear any other kind of face covering, but not this sort of Middle Eastern or Arabic style one. That's just whack. If there's a problem with many people covering their faces, just ban face coverings in public.